10 most difficult countries to immigrate to. Almost all countries have their unique rules regarding citizenship acquisition. That's why immigrants are faced with different challenges in their bid for permanent residency and citizenship. The situation you encounter in the US is different from the circumstances in Qatar, for example. What you'll face in Myanmar can't stand your experience in no-go North Korea. Let's now discuss the 10 most difficult countries to immigrate to. Please note the facts presented here about the 10 most difficult countries to immigrate to are just my personal opinion formed out of my own careful research and experiences in travels and from inputs of experienced travelers. I respect the rights of others to express your own opinion. Number 10. Vatican City. The small state of Vatican City is one of the most difficult countries to immigrate to. We're referring to an independent state in the heart of the capital city of Rome. That's why we speak of the Vatican City in Rome. Yet it's a country, the status it has attained since 1929. This country, difficult to migrate to, has a population of less than 1,000 living on just 121 acres. But why is the officially smallest country in the world also one of the hardest countries to immigrate to? For one thing, it's governed by the Pope, the head of the Catholic Church. In this smallest and sovereign state, and one of the most difficult countries to move to, you have to be an official or worker of the Catholic Church to be eligible for citizenship. Number 9. Liechtenstein. The next country on my list of 10 most difficult countries to immigrate to is Liechtenstein, a small, landlocked principality in Central Europe. The country, which is also a constitutional monarchy, is officially known as the Principality of Liechtenstein. This principality, which enjoys membership of the UN, the Council of Europe, and the EFTA, maintains a restrictive immigration and residency policy. That's why it's rightly put here as one of the hardest countries to immigrate to. It's not a member of the EU, even though it joins the operations of the Schengen area and the European Economic Area. Being one of the smallest countries in Europe and the 6th smallest in the world, foreign workers in Liechtenstein are usually not allowed to live in the principality, even when they're employed by a Liechtenstein company. Vaduz, the capital of Liechtenstein, located along the Rhine River, doesn't issue more than 100 residence permits a year. Number 8. Bhutan. Bhutan is a landlocked Asian country in the Himalayas. We're including Bhutan in our list of the 10 most difficult countries to immigrate to because its immigration laws are among the strictest. The Bhutanese government officially wants to keep foreigners out of the principality. Why? It wants to avoid foreign influence so that they can hold on to their ancient ways of life. It's one of the hardest countries to immigrate to as foreigners are rarely allowed to settle there. Even marrying a Bhutanese doesn't give any guarantee. You need to stay for 20 years to become a naturalized citizen. A child produced by a marriage of a Bhutanese or non-Bhutanese doesn't automatically become a citizen. He'll wait for 15 years before applying for naturalized citizenship. The same applies to government employees. Even at that, you can have your citizenship revoked for speaking or acting against the king. Indeed, Bhutan is one of the hardest countries to immigrate to. Number 7. Qatar. One of the hardest countries to become a citizen in is Qatar. Forget anything like citizenship by birth if your father is not a Qatari. But a child born in Qatar by a resident to a Qatari man may lay a claim to that. You may apply for naturalized citizenship if you've been a legal resident for 25 years without ever leaving the country for 2 consecutive months. The country officially known as the State of Qatar, which is certainly one of the most difficult countries to immigrate to, has never naturalized more than 50 foreigners and granted permanent residency for more than 100 expats in a year. Under the law of the country, the naturalized citizens don't have the same rights and privileges as Qataris by birth. And the reason for all these stringent citizenship conditions is clear. There are huge government benefits for all citizens. It'll be too much for the government to extend that to all. Number 6. The United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates, UAE, is one of the 10 most difficult countries to immigrate to. In this home to the elegant city of Dubai, you'll be allowed to apply for citizenship only after you've legally resided for 30 years. However, federal law number 17 softens things for other Arabs from countries such as Bahrain, Oman, or Qatar. They can apply to be naturalized citizens after only 3 years of residency. Descendants of Emiratis are eligible for citizenship only if they were born within the state. Currently, an Emirati woman married to a foreigner cannot pass citizenship of the UAE to their children. Thus, it's hard to become a citizen of the UAE. Thanks to the 2011 decree, children produced by that wedlock can apply for citizenship when they reach age 18. Thus, it's hard to become a citizen of the UAE. Number 5. Kuwait. Another Arab country of Kuwait is the next on the list of the 10 most difficult countries to immigrate to. We understand why. The nationality law of 1999 provides that it's only after 20 years of legal and crime-free residency that foreigners can apply to be granted Kuwaiti citizenship, 15 for Arabs from other countries. The law adds the clause that's possible for a Muslim by birth or conversion, and a Muslim convert must have been practiced for at least 5 years with a very good grasp of Arabic. A woman must have been married to a Kuwaiti man for 15 years before asking to become a citizen. Number 4. Switzerland. The next on our list of most difficult countries to immigrate to is Switzerland. You can qualify to apply for citizenship when you qualify to apply for permanent residency. Effective 2018, the law states that you must have lived in the snowy Alps of Switzerland for 10 years to make the country your permanent home. Additionally, you must have a working permit, also known as a C permit. Note please that I can guarantee you that fulfilling these conditions automatically makes you a Swiss. You also need to prove that you've been assimilated into society without posing a threat to security. Even then, rules from specific cantons and municipalities can still disqualify you. As expected, the rules are softened for EU nationals. People from EFTA countries, Americans, and Canadians can apply after 5 years. For everyone else, it has to be 10 years before they're eligible. Number 3. China. China has every reason to be listed among the most difficult countries to immigrate to. According to the nationality law of the People's Republic of China, foreigners can become naturalized citizens only if they have as a relative a Chinese citizen or that has settled in China. It's extremely difficult to become a naturalized Chinese if you don't meet this requirement regarding Chinese relatives. The CIA hints at the possibility of naturalization, but it's not so much in practice. Number 2. Japan. Japan has a peculiar case regarding becoming a citizen or permanent resident. Did you know that it is quicker to become a citizen in Japan than to be granted permanent residency? But there's a roadblock. Yes, to be Japanese requires just 5 years of residency. Yet you must obtain express permission of the Justice Minister before you can apply, and the paperwork you'll go through is just too tough to wriggle out of. The questions you have to answer may include a probe into your personal life and history. Though the Japanese government sources say such applications take just 6 to 12 months, those who have been through it say it can take years. Here is the toughest one. You must be ready to renounce your citizenship in other countries, because there is nothing like a dual citizenship for a Japanese. That adds Japan to the list of the hardest countries to immigrate to. Number 1. North Korea. And the final one of the 10 most difficult countries to immigrate to is North Korea, a country which screams foreigners out with capital letters. If you consider North Korea as the most isolated country on Earth, you'll have many positive responses to your comment in the comment section. North Korea hardly allows foreigners to live in the country, and if a foreigner wriggles his way through to the country, he will find it extremely difficult to get residence permit. You will agree that those mentioned here are the 10 most difficult countries to immigrate to. If you know other countries that should have been included or excluded, please don't hesitate to let me know. If you love this video, kindly share and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more.